when they have memory issue, first thing is, no, I need an estrogen. I need to ask my doctor for estrogen. My doctor will write it, whatever. But it's because it's the stress. What happens is that when you have a chronic stress, your nutrient level go down. And when your nutrient level go down, your brain and body is not making proper amount of dopamine and serotonin. That's when you also want a dopamine hit, right? So that's when you want something good, and you can then get addicted to something that will give you dopamine hit, because dopamine is the memory brain chemical. So you need that dopamine hit because your stress is reducing that dopamine production, serotonin production, because you have nutrient deficiency.
Hi, my name is Luella Young. I'm a psychotherapist and coach. And if you're interested in how your lifestyle is affecting your mental health, then you're at the right place. On this show, I interview various guests from across the miles and share how their lifestyle choices affects their sense of self, their wealth, and most importantly, their health. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to I Think I Can. So today I have Dennis Wong with me. Dennis Wong is a pharmacist here in Winnipeg. And I was just thinking this morning, Dennis, this is the first person I interview from my local city. So this is exciting.
Absolutely. This is exciting to, get on your podcast also, because we known each other off and on for a few years through, IFM training and certification, but we never really able to connect it. So I'm grateful and really happy that we can connect on your podcast.
Yeah, wonderful. I know, two colleagues meeting in the night. So
exactly.
So Dennis, why don't you introduce yourself to
Sure.
our audience? Yeah.
So my name is Dennis Wong. I'm a pharmacist, and it's a little bit different for a lot of people. When you look at pharmacists, they fill prescription, they talk to patient. My wife's a pharmacist also, and we decided to open up our own pharmacy back in 1997. So we've been in our own community pharmacy business for a little bit over 26, coming into 27 years. And the reason we started it was we were working for a corporate store, both of us. And I got frustrated to the point that, there's regulation, rules change from corporate. And I understand that they have to balance their book and, what they do at the store level, etc. But got to the point that I couldn't serve my patient the way I was serving them. Mm-hmm. My hands are getting tied and rules are getting tighter and tighter. So I got frustrated, and 1997, long story short, there's another story why and how we open it. But we decided to open our own pharmacy in 1997. In this, when we started outside of White Ridge, there was nothing there. Behind us was forest all the way to, airport type of thing. Mm-hmm. And when we started here, everybody said, you're not going to make it. There's nobody there. And for us, there's a White Ridge community here, then there's no pharmacy to serve them. It's perfect for us. Mm. So we open up actually 500 square footage pharmacy, believe it or not.
Wow.
And everybody said, you can do 500 for a pharmacy. And I said, I can. So we literally did. And so we served the community. And for the first 5 years, we put our heart and soul in it, to the point that I've actually had a phone, all the store phone forwarded to my cell phone when I closed the store.
Oh,
so
my
I was
gosh.
doing 24-hour on-call, and there's a couple of phone calls that I actually got 2 a.m, and I woke up and I answered it.
Oh my God.
And one I remember was this 10 or 11-year-old kid that was at the children's clinic emergency for all night with the ear infection. And by the time they got home was 2 a.m. and mom was worried and for whatever reason decided to phone 2 a.m. And she didn't know that I was going to answer the phone. And I answered the phone. She said, oh, I was leaving message so that, as soon as you get in, you'll get this ready. I said, what do you need it now? She's like, are you serious? So I literally went and picked it up and filled a prescription and took it back to her 2 a.m. And like, those are the kind of thing that we did. But because I did that after 5 years, I really got sick myself. And, I got totally stressed out and burned out, and I really got sick. Every spring and fall, I'll have a sinus infection and have to take the antibiotic. And so I started looking at, what? I need to look at what's going on. And I started learning about stress. And also I started learning about integrative medicine, functional medicine, because traditional medicine is not helping me. The only thing they can do was giving me antibiotic to treat the infection. And then infection is gone, you're good, right? But meantime, I'm exhausted by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I'm totally exhausted to the point that I actually have a little fold-up bed in my storage room. So 2, 3 o'clock, if need to, I will go to the bed back and take a nap. So when my wife's looking after the customer, and I just have to, otherwise I wouldn't function. So with that, I got into more training. And so then we got into functional medicine, as you know it, that's the whole holistic approach, looking at the root cause, etc. And the patient that we were working, I started seeing also that, like, for example, one patient, he's a teacher and teaching for like 15 years or 20 years when he came to us and with the knee pain. And the doctor gave him a non-steroidal, anti-inflammation, so like NSAID. And so he got naproxen. And naproxen helped him. Within a month, his knee pain was improved. But within 6 months, he got high blood pressure. That's a side effect from naproxen. So he got put on the blood pressure medication. And with the blood pressure medication, his heart rate started becoming irregular. So now they trying to put him on another medication. And he got upset. He said, Dennis, I'm getting started one medication for knee pain. Now I got 2 medications because my blood pressure went up. Now my heart rate is not right. So now they're putting me on another medication. Can you do anything else apart from these drugs? So I scratched my head and I started looking for, okay, what else can we do from lifestyle, food, and supplement? And so that's how we got into the whole functional medicine, etc. And over the year, I got into AFOM, American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine fellowship, and got the fellowship in 2007, and then keep training with them, AFOM, and also Institute for Functional Medicine, IFM, that you belong to. And I got certified with them, which is the same certification that you got. And I've been working with the patient since 2005, I started doing consult wellness and looking at, okay, what else can we do apart from just traditional drug and traditional medication treatment? So that's been my journey, and I'm trying to do more and more as much as I can. And over last 10, 15 years, I've actually lectured at the different pharmacy conferences and, teaching other pharmacists and even some physicians that are invited by the pharmacy to attend these conferences. So I'm teaching them about the whole functional medicine, hormone replacement. And then my major thing now is that looking at the chronic stress and how chronic stress is affecting our body and creating other, issue, including hormone replacement and cardiovascular health, gut health, all of that, autoimmune.
Wonderful. Sometimes we have to suffer ourselves to find the cure, right? Like
Absolutely.
you went through it yourself and realize that there's got to be something better. Like the example you gave with that gentleman, it shows you how one medication can just run into another
Yeah.
medication. And I also want to commend you for what sounds like a fantastic work ethic. You know, and this is where it gets complicated, right, Dennis? Because
Yes.
we get applauded for this, it's a dopamine hit like from that woman when she goes, "Oh my God, you can do that." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Yes, I can. I'm Superman." And
Exactly.
and but then we can't continue being Superman.
No, no.
No.
And, I go back to that saying that you have to put the mask on first. Like, I
Yeah.
fly a lot and I'm sure you do to conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
And the first thing before we take off the plane, what they said is that when there's a, oxygen mask come down, make sure you put the mask on first for yourself before you help other. Otherwise, you can't breathe and you're going to pass out. You can't help anybody. And the same thing, we as a health practitioner, we want to help so many people so much that a lot of time we ignore ourselves.
Yeah.
And, that's what I've seen in some of these, women. I'm sure like, you see a lot of
Yeah.
women that come to you about their frustration, etc. And that's the thing that we find it is that especially women patient, when you see them, they talk about this, that, and you talk to them and like, what about yourself? Well, I'm, worrying about my daughter and I'm worrying about my husband and I'm worrying about my mom and all that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, absolutely. You need to definitely look after yourself and make sure that you are well so that you can then support and help others.
So Dennis, I mean, you're right. You're 100% right. In fact, I just had a client before you, and we were talking about, yeah, her level of stress. Somebody who also owns a business, and so you, the problem is, though, Dennis, it's sort of like when you like sometimes people have that awareness that they are stressed, and other people don't. So what is your best way of giving people a better like look at their levels of stress? Like, I mean, to make it more like I guess take the subjectivity out of it and make it objective to them.
Yeah. So, a couple of one thing I'm going to share another story
Okay, good.
because,
I love stories.
yeah, and, people can relate better, right, with the story. So,
Yeah.
A lot of time, I totally agree that when I ask them and talk to, my patient and my clients, and I'm telling them you're stressed, first thing they'll say is, no, I'm not stressed. No, I'm not stressed. So with the stress, there's two part of it. One is, de-stress, the clinical term, right?
Right, right.
And that everybody look at it as, okay, this is stress.
Yeah.
But there's another part that we call it eustress,
Yes.
which is a lot of us don't look at as a stress. What it is that something happened that you are excited, you're happy about it.
Yeah.
But your body physically, physiologically react the same way, either, de-stress or eustress.
Yeah.
And so one of the story I'm going to share is that a few years back, on Friday, one lady came into our store and asking to talk to, one of my pharmacists. So they talked to her. And then after that, they said, this is Dennis's thing. We're going to bring Dennis out. I'm like, okay. So they came and asked me and said, this lady have an issue and we can't figure out why she's having this problem. Can you come and talk to her? So I went out and I talked to her and I said, okay, can you let me know, what's your issue? How can we help?
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I can't fall asleep. When I fall asleep, I'm waking up 2, 3 in the morning and I'm exhausted by the afternoon. I said, when does that happen? How long you been suffering this? She said, just a week. And I'm like, okay. I said, it's a stress thing. The symptom that you're telling me, it's a stress thing. She said, I'm not stressed. No. I said, okay, are you from Winnipeg? She said, no. I said, okay, you're out of town. So how long are you been in Winnipeg and why are you here? Yeah. She said, I've been here 2 weeks. I said, okay, why are you here? She said, I'm here because my daughter is getting married and I came here to plan her wedding. I smiled. I said, you're excited? She said, absolutely. This is, going to be great wedding. She's got telling me about all her plan, what she's doing, all of that. And I just smiled and listened to her. And then when she finished, I told her, I said, did you listen to yourself? She said, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, there's only 24 hours in a day. You're doing all these things. I said, when you're trying to sleep, I bet you're thinking about what you need to do tomorrow. She said, yeah, I want to make sure that the wedding goes smoothly. And I said, you probably wake up and then you start thinking about that. She said, yeah. I said, there you go. Yeah. That is stressing you out. So we actually, suggested some meditation, give her some melatonin, etc., and told her, should be happy because the wedding this weekend, you should not worry about it. Whatever happened. You done whatever you can do. Enjoy the moment. Yeah. And Monday she came back and told me that, thank you, I slept well over the weekend, over the wedding. I'm like, hooray, Yeah. So that's the thing. A lot of time that people don't realize how much they are doing to the point, how much they're pushing their body to the point that, the body can no longer handle it and telling you, I'm stressed. Yeah. But we ignored it because we are so determined to do whatever we need to do. Yeah. And that's, where I find it that people having issue with these stress, chronic stress stuff and sleep and, exhaustion and brain fog and all those things because they're not listening to their body. They are so determined to get the stuff done and they're not living in the moment. They're looking at what next, what do I need to do to get ready for tomorrow? Yeah. And I've learned it over the year that yesterday is the past. Tomorrow is future. You have to do what you need to do now, today, learn from the past, and do what you need to do today so that you're ready for tomorrow. Don't prepare for tomorrow. Just do what you need to do today. And this will set you up good for tomorrow. Because you're worrying about tomorrow, you cannot do stuff that you need to do today properly. That's going to stress you out. And I've seen people, even my staff, come to me and say, I'm overwhelmed. I got to do this today and I got to do tomorrow, these stuff. And I'm like, forget about tomorrow. Yeah. Just move it to tomorrow. You'll deal with that tomorrow. Deal with what you need to do today. Yeah. Then that's a little bit less, workload than, I got to do today's stuff and tomorrow's stuff. So,
okay. Yeah. Easier said than done. Right. And I think and I give the same advice. But honestly, I think a lot of my clients will nod and say, thank you very much. This was helpful. But then there's no behavior change.
Yeah.
So, but you know what, sometimes, unfortunately, which again, it happened to you with the sinus infections. So I don't know, could you kind of sort of describe some of the most common physical symptoms, whether it's showing up in their blood work or whatever it might be, for women and for men, that they're not even connecting the dots and thinking, this is a sign of stress?
Yeah. Well, The first thing that you're going to see is afternoon exhaustion.
Yeah.
I have many patients, both men and women, that come to me and said, yeah, I have low energy and, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like especially men, they will say, but I can handle it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the first sign of your body's, overstress, and that your body is not recovering from stress properly anymore. Mm-hmm. Stress is accumulative, right? It's like I have people come to me and say, oh, 5 years ago, this happened and it's 5 years now, I should be fine. But they're still not, because they're not really taking care of themselves. They think that the stress is done and they're going to continue on with their life. Mm-hmm. But there's no recuperation on, no support properly to heal the body back. Mm-hmm. And so that's the first thing. Second thing that a lot of people will tell you, and I'm sure you heard of it, I having memory loss, especially female, right? Come to you and saying, I'm having this memory loss. I can't remember name. I can remember, I went into the kitchen and then I don't remember what I was there for. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I need estrogen. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing I heard, because mm-hmm. they know that estrogen improves their memory. When they're low in estrogen, they have memory issues. So when they have memory issue, first thing is, no, I need an estrogen. I need to ask my doctor for estrogen. My doctor will write it, whatever. But it's because it's the stress. What happens is that when you have a chronic stress, your nutrient level go down. And when your nutrient level go down, your brain and body is not making proper amount of dopamine and serotonin. That's when you also want a dopamine hit, right? So that's when you want something good, and you can then get addicted to something that will give you dopamine hit, because dopamine is the memory chemical, brain chemical. So you need that dopamine hit, because your stress is reducing that dopamine production, serotonin production, because you have nutrient deficiency, and these enzymes cannot convert the amino acid or protein into serotonin and dopamine properly. That's when you start getting brain fog and memory loss. And a lot of females will think that, oh, because I'm low in estrogen. From the male point of view, their libido will go down because they're exhausted. But they're denying, and being male, they don't want to admit that they have low energy. And so they keep fighting. And with that, from male side, their testosterone level will go down. And so they will have low libido. See, the thing is, testosterone and estrogen, for female, estrogen is the main female hormone. And for male, as testosterone is a main male hormone. But either in male or female, the way it works is testosterone is a precursor for estrogen. So for the male, when they are stressed, the testosterone actually get converted more to estrogen. So their testosterone level go down. In the female, the testosterone conversion to estrogen actually get blocked when they are stressed. So they get more testosterone there. And you may see that these females, when they have memory loss, they get more aggressive because they get frustrated. That's because of the testosterone surging. And some females, they'll tell you that they start losing hair because when they have high testosterone, female body doesn't like it. So they convert the testosterone, because they cannot convert to estrogen. They're converting it to another androgen called DHT, which is 10 times stronger than testosterone. That's the DHT that causes male pattern baldness. Mm-hmm. So females start seeing hair loss, and female think that, oh, I'm getting hair loss, I need that, Rogaine and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are treating symptoms, and they're not looking at what is creating this. It's the stress that causing nutrient deficiency, stress that causing gut dysfunction and digestive issue that now causing more nutrient deficiency. And stress is now waking them up middle of the night with a cortisol surge.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at that. So like, from my point of view, I know that you said, it's harder to change that,
behavior,
mindset and stuff. So what I usually tell people, the easy thing that they can start is doing a deep breathing, 10 deep breath 3 times a day. That will stimulate the vagus nerve, which is parasympathetic. That will slow down the fight or flight. That will slow down the stress. And that is the basic thing that everybody can do easily. Set the alarm on the phone. People say, oh, I forget to do it. You can set the alarm on the phone, 3 times a day, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and early evening, or, even before go to bed. And then you do, this 10 deep breath to stimulate the vagus nerve, to calm the brain down, to calm the whole sympathetic fight or flight down.
Yeah. But Dennis, you realize with giving them all this beautiful advice, you're actually putting yourself out of business, because, when you think of it, this is where all the supplements and the layer, like, I'll just, I don't know. I'll take a sleep aid. Oh, and I can just, take a B vitamin for my energy, and I can take melatonin to go to sleep, and dopamine. I'm low in dopamine. Okay, well then I don't know. I'll just.
I'm gonna take like rhodiola, to get
that too.
Get the dopamine increase. And absolutely, all those supplements, I use it in my practice. I recommend it.
Yeah.
But if people don't change their lifestyle and mindset, I can tell you that you're gonna be on these supplement the rest of your life. And even then, there's going to be many times that patient that don't change and do the breathing or exercise or eating properly will come back and say, I'm still gaining weight. I'm still having memory loss. They cannot be 100% with just the supplement. It's a holistic approach. Like, that's what you and I do, right? So absolutely. The information that I just put out, if people do that, you and I probably will be out of business, but we're here to, help and support, right? Whatever we can. So I have patient actually that one lady came to me 5 years ago, and she was having exhaustion, memory loss, can't sleep. And so I said, you know what, before I give you any supplement, I said, can I suggest to you for 7 days? She said, okay. So I said, for 7 days, you only eat vegetables as much as you can. And for that 7 days, this is the protein shake. Drink 3 shakes a day. And then in 7 days, we'll talk again. And I said, this is my free advice. See what you can do. If you cannot, then we'll do full consult. So a week later, I called her on Zoom, and she's like, this is amazing. I got full energy. My, memory loss is gone, and I'm sleeping. And she said, guess what? I said, what? She said, I lost 10 pounds.
Oh my God.
We haven't even talked about weight loss within a week. And she said, so my husband is doing this too. And she said, I don't need your help. I can do this. So there you go. I lost my business, but I was so happy that now not just her, but her husband is now going to eat better and do that, breathing exercise and take protein shake. And I'm like, hey, I done my job.
Exactly. And it's just like, and like, it's also too, every diet works until it doesn't. So, I mean, I think this is where people have to, get very individual about their, what their own needs
absolutely
are, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody is different, and everybody like different stuff. And I'm not saying you have to, like, when I tell them about what to eat, how to eat, like I have specific menu guide that I give them for a month or 3 months or 6 months type of thing.
Yeah.
But I told them, this is a guide, right? You cannot stress out. I have people that stressed out on it. Like one lady, in my guide, there's a pictures of the, recipe. And then she looked at the picture and she texted me and said, I looked through the recipe right up and I looked at the picture. The picture has something different, some vegetable in there that is not on the recipe. And she's concerned about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I laughed at it and I said, don't look at the picture.
Yeah.
It's just so that, it looks good.
Yeah. And, that's exactly why I brought that up, Dennis, is sort of because, again, we have access to all this information, constantly.
Sometimes too much.
So too much for sure. Because for example, someone could be listening to this podcast and go, I got to do that. I'm going to drink, and I should lose 10 pounds. Or, some influencer is talking about the importance of, protein 3 times a day, 30 grams. Or another one is like, oh my God, once I took my B vitamin and so we're all kind of going, well, I got to do that. I have to do that. And I have to do that. And it's like, wait a second,
Exactly.
What,
you're an individual.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, intermittent fasting. That's another thing, right? And it's sort of especially for women and their delicate hormone systems, intermittent fasting might work fantastic for men.
Not for everybody. And, I recently, Jen Stevens.
Yeah.
I recently interviewed her about intermittent fasting, and you had her on your podcast 2 or 3 times. And the reason I got her on was that a lot of people come to me and ask me about intermittent fasting, or they're doing intermittent fasting, but they're still exhausted.
Yeah.
And I talked to Jen at one of the retreats that we were together last year. And I said, Jen, I know you're the intermittent specialist expert. Tell me if I'm wrong. I said, if they are doing intermittent fasting, they should not be exhausted. If they are exhausted, they should not be doing intermittent fasting. She said, you're right on. I said, can you come on my podcast and let's talk about that? Because people follow, like you said, some experts say, you got to do 12 hours. You got to do, 14 hours. You got to do 16 hours.
Yeah.
And all that, people are just following and overwhelmed by it. And what Jen and I said is simple thing. When you're doing intermittent fasting and you're exhausted, the eating window, you're not eating enough. Like Jen call it fast and feast and repeat. You have to really eat proper amount of nutrients, including high protein vegetables and, good complex carbohydrate. If you're not doing that, then it's not right. And on the weekend, I was listening to JJ Virgin presentation. I was crewing for Tony Robbins Light Mastery as a staff. So, I had a chance to listen to all these speakers, and JJ is one of my mentors, like Jen and I'm in JJ Virgin Mastermind together. So when JJ came on, she talked about intermittent fasting too. She said, yeah, it's good. But she said from what her work and her understanding and her, experience, that she told a lot of people, if you want to do intermittent fasting, don't cut the breakfast, because by 10 o'clock, and that's what Dr. James Wilson, my mentor who created the term adrenal fatigue, said also, by 10 o'clock, if you are stressed, by 10 o'clock, you need your protein.
Yeah.
If you don't get the protein and by 10 o'clock and your body is stressed, you're never going to recover throughout the day with the energy level. So what JJ said is, you want to really do intermittent fasting, cut your supper, do breakfast and lunch. And then you cut your supper, you'll get that, 16 hours. But I'm not saying you have to do that. Everybody is different, right? So you got to play with it. And so a lot of people, I tell them not to do intermittent fasting because I see a lot of people with the exhaustion, and all of those people are chronic stress. And if you're chronic stress, you can. I have another interesting story with young gentleman that came to me. He was doing 16 hours of intermittent fasting, but he's still exhausted. So he did the research and he read all these things for longevity. So he said, according to the research, if he get on the metformin, he will have energy and he will have his longevity. What he's missing is metformin. And his doctor will not prescribe it for him. So he came to me because a friend of his had a severe depression that I helped him over 2 years, that the gentleman is off the medication and got full of energy. So he said, you got to be able to do that for me. You got to be able to tell my doctor to prescribe metformin. So I said, okay, let's just back up one step. Let's see what you're eating when you are in the eating window. So he said, I only eat one meal a day. I'm like, wow, I think you're not eating enough. He said, no, I'm eating enough. I just need metformin. I'm like, okay, just tell me what you're eating for that one meal a day. He said, I have meal at around 4 or 5 o'clock. I said, okay, what are you eating? I said, how much vegetables, how much protein? And he went quiet. I'm like, so? He said, oh, I got 2 little young girls, my 2 daughters, 5 and 7. I said, yeah. They like chicken McNugget. I'm like, yeah. So we usually buy chicken McNugget and that's what I eat. And I shook my head and I said, that's your problem. You need to go back and look at your menu plan. You need to eat vegetables. You need to have, he's like pretty, muscular.
Yeah.
And he's exhausted because he's not feeding his body enough, that his body's eating his muscle. So I said, you need to eat about, your palm size of protein each meal.
Yeah.
And then, a bowl full of salad.
Yeah.
That's a start. And I said, you do that for 3 months, you can come back. And he was upset with me that I charged him for an hour and he didn't get anything. I'm like, I'm giving you the, proper
the
eating.
Sauce. Yeah.
Secret sauce, exactly.
Yeah.
And I've never seen him since then. After 2 years, I'm like, that's fine.
Oh my gosh.
I can help you there.
Yeah.
People need to sometimes, stop and look what they're doing.
Yeah.
Before they keep looking for what's next.
Yeah. And when you were speaking before about when I was saying too that there's so much information, there's information overload. I think we have to realize what we're actually looking for is absolutes. We're thinking we want to know, this is the answer. And but that in itself is a sign of stress, right? Because if we were calm, we would realize, there's a certain balance and harmony, and, this is not your be all end all answer.
No.
And that we're individualistic. And, it's so if you are searching for the best supplement, the best answer, it's sort of like, it's a sign that you're stressed because
there is no magic pill.
No.
And that's what they are doing, is they are so stressed that they want all the health issue to be gone just like that.
Yes.
And there is no such thing. Our body is, like you said, balance, check and balance. You have to have all that balance in all areas of your life. Nothing need to be 100%.
No.
I tell people that if you can even do 50% of everything compared to 100% of one thing, you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. People don't acknowledge, those little changes, what a big
Yeah,
difference that they're making. And
yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons people don't keep up with, a self-care practice or even meditation. It's just
yeah,
sort of like,
yeah.
it's just not
Because
working.
they said, yeah, it's not working because they don't see 100%.
Yeah.
One of the another funny story is that um, I got so many stories because I've been doing wellness since 2005. So
Yeah.
at one point I used a heart med, uh, you know, app and device, to measure the heart rate variability.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So at one point, I literally asked people to buy the equipment and app and do that
Yeah.
breathing and heart med.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
one lady,
People, I
yeah,
just want to because of Dennis's beautiful accent. I love accents, by the way, but it's heart math.
thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So I, so want to this lady because she's so stressed. And so a week later, I said, "We'll meet." And throughout the week, she keep emailing me and saying, "My heart rate's not going down. I'm still hyper. I'm still stressed." So I said, "Okay, let's meet together." So I set the appointment with her and I make her do the breathing with the,
Mm-hmm.
sense and everything. And we
Yep.
watched the whole thing go. And within 10 minutes, her heart rate went down and the HRV become really nicely. And so after 10 minutes, I told her to stop. And I said, "Look at this." And she's like, "I didn't get that at home." I said, "You're probably so anxious looking at the thing saying, how come it's not there? How come it's not there? And you're creating your own stress. Right here is you're relaxed and you're thinking that, see, I'm going to prove Dennis. Dennis is watching it. And so you're so relaxed that I am here watching it. And you're so confident that you're going to prove me wrong,
Yeah.
that your stress is not there. So
Yeah.
now it's normal.
Yeah.
And so I said, slow down. Don't put too high of the expectation on everything
Mm-hmm.
and just be,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's also a great story, and I think, yeah, we just have to and also Dennis is there, like, to sort of, I mean, I do think there's a role for supplements, and of course
Yeah,
we need medications, but it's meant to be temporary. And I'm glad you mentioned that you're
yeah,
not supposed to be, unless there's some underlying condition, on this forever.
yeah.
Can I ask you about maybe some short-term supplements that might be helpful for people then?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, I want to ask you about one because I'm how there's supplements that's all the buzz, for one I hear so much now is creatine, and how it's so great for your memory, and it's not only for muscles. Can you explain what creatine is and what's the
Well,
hype?
creatine is another amino acid,
Yeah.
and JJ Virgin loves it.
Okay.
And I'm cautious about it because creatine is also one of the amino acids that end up being abused at the gym
Mm-hmm.
because
Exactly.
creatine help build the muscle the fastest.
Yeah.
So what people were doing and still are doing is that taking so much creatine and pumping so much iron that they build their muscle very quickly.
Mm.
But the downside is that because they are overloading with the creatine, that they have issue with the liver and kidney because
Okay.
liver and kidney cannot clear enough. Like the body is using it, but they're actually loading more than what the body can use up. Then the
Mm-hmm.
body has to eliminate that. And then you're texting on liver and kidney.
Yeah.
JJ Virgin loves it because she knows how to use it. She uses it properly. And, so if you look at her, like on a weekend when she came on the screen, she got the, sleeveless blouse and stuff, and her arms are like, form muscle really nicely. And everybody said, commenting, oh boy, look at her, arms and muscles, because she exercised properly, she eat properly, and she used all these supplement properly. Like you can use a supplement to, support your exercise energy and stuff. You don't have to get up, but you don't need to be on, a tons of supplement after your body is working and you're eating properly. But the same thing with creatine, that people see that it's improved the muscle building. So there's overuse and abuse. That's where the problem is. Not that creatine is bad. People are making it bad because they are overusing it. And some gym are telling people that, oh, you got to take this much of creatine. It's so good. And so these people are taking it so much more than they need to. And that's where the problems start. And you start seeing the kidney issue and start seeing the liver issue.
Right. Okay. So how about let's say you have a 35-year-old woman who or I mean it could be 40s, whatever. I mean, I think 40s is the real burnout age, to be honest with you. That decade, because you have young children, you're trying to do so well. But anybody who's having problems with their sleep, what are some of your favorite supplements that you might suggest if you're thinking, okay, like their adrenal, they're stressed?
Right. Yeah. So my go-to when they come and they're exhausted, they can't sleep, then my basic thing is vitamin B complex, because we know that adrenal, when under stress, use a lot of B complex up, and also adrenal push the body to make energy, and energy making the whole mitochondria energy making process. A lot of B complex is used up. So vitamin B complex. And then I will probably go another supplement like adaptogen, so ashwagandha, Siberian ginseng, or cordyceps or rhodiola. And the other one that I really like a lot is L-theanine, which is, amino acid extract from green tea, but there's no caffeine in it. Because when I said green tea, everybody is like caffeine, and it's no caffeine in it. And what L-theanine does is that improve your brain wave, that improve the sleep. And at the same time, L-theanine modulate production of serotonin, dopamine, and GABA. All of those are calming and feel good brain neurotransmitter. And when you're under stress, all three go low. And then the other supplement that I really like and I use a lot, and people are surprised, is melatonin. A lot of people tell me, oh, melatonin doesn't work for me. And I said, how much when I ask how much are you using, they say, oh, I'm using 3 milligram, 5 milligram. When you're under chronic stress and cortisol spiking at night or middle of the night, 3 to 5 milligram is not enough. I use melatonin up to 20 milligram with some of my patients. You need to titrate up and see where your dose is. Everybody is different. And so, you need to titrate up. I titrate up myself to 9 milligram at one point. And that works for me. And now I take 10 milligram, almost every night because of, running the business and seeing other patients. And we feel the stress from the patient, you and I, because we get into talking, especially you, right? Talking about their feelings and mind and all of that. So I use the melatonin almost regularly for 10 milligram every night. So that will be the basic thing from the supplement. But at the same time, if you're not eating protein, supplement's not going to do anything, because to produce the brain neurochemical, you need the amino acid. That is a building block. B complex gonna help the enzyme to work better. So I'm being a guy, I'm going to use the car analogy. Okay. You have to put gasoline into the tank. That's protein, so that the engine can burn the gasoline. But you need a good engine oil to lubricate the engine to be going.
Mm-hmm.
That's the B complex.
Mm.
You need both of them.
Yeah.
You don't put gasoline in, you don't feed your body protein, you have no fuel to burn it.
Yeah.
Even though you got the, engine oil in it, there's no fuel, engine's not going to start.
Yeah.
But when you put the gasoline in and engine's running, if you don't put the, engine oil in, you're going to burn that engine out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you don't have the B complex. You got the amino acid in there. The enzyme's going to burn out and mitochondria is going to burn out because you don't have that lubricant, cofactor or vitamin B complex in there. So you need both sides. So, people think, oh, Dennis said these are the supplements. That's it. Yeah. Guess what? No, it's a whole body approach. Yeah. And then on top of it, doing, deep breathing or meditation. Like since COVID happened, I tell people to do meditate. I've never done it regularly, but since COVID happened, I meditate half an hour in the morning. I meditate half an hour before I go to bed. Mm-hmm. I have not missed, if I missed less than 10 days since COVID.
Yeah, wonderful. I know. I'm actually so proud of myself because I'm doing it consistently now as well.
You have to.
Yeah.
And that create the habit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You want a good habit to be consistent.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know one of the things that we were talking about before, we got on was that some of your female, like women clients asking about, I just want them to listen, or I just want their husband to communicate.
Yeah.
And, I said, yes, male and female, our mindset is different. And as a male, we don't talk about it. We hold on to it because when we share that we're stressed, we feel that we're losing out. We're not strong enough. We're not male enough. So a lot of us will hold on to it until finally broke. And then you start seeing these health issues, agitation, anger, all of that, and low libido and can't sleep. Even then, they won't talk. And I understand that, when you said, my clients female clients are saying that, we wish our husband communicate better. And so, I have that story. 10 years ago, one of the physicians referred male patient to me, and he's on testosterone for low libido and low energy. And nothing works. Even with the testosterone for 2 years, didn't change anything at all, except he got more angry.
Yeah.
So he came to me, the first meeting, and our meeting that him and I met, his wife was there. And I'm trying to, do the open-ended question, and he was not answering anything. Even open-ended question, he's like, yes, no. And his wife's ending up answering my question. So I got a lot of information from his wife. Based on that, I did the menu planning. I told him he has to do meditation and he has to eat this way, and then I put supplement together. One good thing was he is at East Indian background. So when I talk about yoga, he understands because, that's their culture and tradition, and they grew up and understanding the yoga, etc. So I said, you need to do yoga.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let's, if you have any question, email me, text me, I'll answer. Otherwise, let's follow up in 3 months.
Yeah.
But we actually end up following up once a month on the phone. Mm-hmm. And so I was able to guide him whatever. 3 months later, when he came back in, he was smiling, he was relaxed, he was talking, and he said, I didn't know how much stress I have. He said, you need to see my brothers and my father. Like, you can't stop. You can't stop him after 3 months. And I'm like, see, that's what stress does to us. Yeah. That, we have to admit that there's a stress and we have to work at it.
Yeah. And I bet like whatever, I don't know if he was a businessman or like what was stressing him out, but chances are your business is only going to get better. you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, when, I heal myself, I was more joyful doing everything. I'm more excited helping people rather than, oh, I'm exhausted. I have no energy and, I got to go take a nap. Right.
Yeah. Because you're short with your
Yeah.
patience and you're
Yeah.
grumpy and
Yeah.
you're
And, absolutely. Yeah. When you feeling better, your brain work better. So, when I'm working with one patient and I can think of other, maybe I should do this for this patient too, right? Because there's time that you're trying to do all these things and there's time that you didn't think of one thing and you're working with the next patient. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can do that I can suggest that for, my other patient type of thing. So yeah, when you're feeling better and when, you don't have the stress, like I can't say you don't have the stress. Stress is part of life.
Yes, exactly.
But, when you're managing stress better and you're not under the chronic stress and suffering, then everything's better.
Yeah. No, it's true. As you're speaking there too, I'm thinking, when we give our brain that rest and it comes down to sort of a normal like cycle or just homeostasis, then like that, we don't like that's when new ideas come in, like for
Absolutely.
our business. Or like you say, I'm mapping different clients now and different patients and you just get better at your craft because you're allowed your brain to just like be and relax.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to respect your time here and let you get back to your patients. So let's do this again. It was fun.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been great. Love sharing all these information, and we both work in a similar area, in different whatever concentration that we'll zero in on, but to come down to is the whole body health.
Yes, the whole body health, exactly. Yeah, like minds think alike, or
Anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so and then where like people just search you up by like everything you do. Are you on?
I'm online, so I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. On the Facebook, you just find Dennis Wong.
Yeah.
On Instagram is Heal You From Within.
Okay.
And our website is sindan.com.
Yes. Oh, and
easy.
I put that together the other day. I thought Cindy, Dennis.
And Dennis. You got it. Yeah. Everybody asks us saying, what's Sindan? I was trying to do the trademark on our name with the, government of Canada, and they emailed back and saying, what does this Sindan mean? So I emailed back Cindy and Dennis.
Doesn't take a rocket scientist, but anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, everyone. If you're wondering, what you need, and if you just need like a few supplements or just a closer look at what's going on underneath the hood, that's where Dennis is going to be your go-to. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and have a good week, everyone. Thanks, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Thanks once again for joining me on another great episode of I Think I Can podcast. If you liked it, please subscribe below so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And until next week, treat each day like it was your last, because each new day is a privilege that we shan't take for granted. Cheers and have a great week. Bye-bye.